subjects and genres that I read. Over 100 books. They took that. I had camera filmmaking equipment, videography equipment, hard drives. I had candle making because that's what I was doing. All these things that I was doing, they took. I remember the story of Jesus and the Roman soldiers when they were stabbed him in his side and gambled off pieces of his cloak. That's what these guys are. They're the vultures that pick at your carcass when you're down in human form. So, between these two women, and I've tried, it's gotten scary for me. So I told myself, I said, you know what? I am really going to just tell this story. I'm going to keep telling it. Because the one thing, when I found out that this woman was a sex offender, and the second woman is too, emotional incest can lead to actual intercourse. And this woman has a lust demon over her. That's who she conjured with, who she has a pact with. And she has been obsessed with me to where I've heard her say, because they're always, like you said, there's no boundaries. If they can't get to you physically, they will attack you in the spiritual realm. So her skin burns. I don't remember the name of the disease she said that she has, but her skin feels like it's always on fire, or it will agitate and it'll be on fire. She also has neck problems from being in a car crash. So I'm feeling all that. I know I don't go through that. I pray, meditate, and I'm usually in a state of peace. So when my peace is disrupted energetically, I can tell, because I don't do drama. I don't do chaos. As soon as it comes in, I move it out. Whether I have to physically move or spiritually purge, I move it out. So I've been feeling this woman behind me. I've been feeling her drug addiction. I mean, she's been in my energy field so deep, because it's not the fact that I'm not clearing them out, because I do. It's just that they keep coming back. That's the obsession. This time she's not. If I'm really quiet and she can't hear with her spiritual ears, I can stay. I can see what she's doing. I can kind of give her suggestions like check your bank account so I can see how much money she has. Christy has been one who has said, and I've heard her, that she won't have any money and she'll be homeless because she wants to come in. She wants to come in like this hero. Well, I got to offer you, because she wanted me to move in with her before they left. She asked me, or she didn't ask me, she told me. Again, they don't ask. They feel entitled to you. So they're doing you a favor. She thought that she was doing me a favor. But the situation is that I was making more than enough money to be able to afford my rent. My bills were less than $200 a month, other than the rent, and to buy groceries, and even to get clothes and do some cool stuff if I wanted to. I had money saved in the bank. So when she had demanded basically that I move in with her and her husband, it didn't make any sense, but it was coming from her desire, not to have me, because she didn't like me. She doesn't like black people. She does not hang with black people. And this is another Hispanic woman. So she did not like black people, but she likes the energy. She likes being able to have sex with black people, whether you're male or female. So this woman has been also sending me death spells, sending me suicide spells, trying to keep me in my hotel, not going anywhere, basically. Like for a while there, I would leave my hotel room, and again, I would have some. So it's two people who are active in trying to arrest me to where I am and induce states and diseases and physical discomfort that I would not have otherwise if they weren't attacking me. So this is the depths that people will go to who have cluster B personalities. And I mean, really, it's a demon possession, because, you have people who have mental disorders who don't go through this. I have done nothing to these people but stand my ground, but love myself enough to say, no, I'm not going to move in with you. No, I'm not going to beg you back. I'm going to go ahead and go through what I'm supposed to go through. I'm not going to turn down the call on my life to be in my purpose. And even though I do have faith in God, and I try not to see what I see in my finances, in the environment around me, and the people harassing me, and the things that I feel, and the witchcraft attacks, as a sign that God has forsaken me. But that is what they want me to question. And instead of what I've gotten used to now, what I've practiced on doing, is when I start dipping into that, because they'll sabotage your job. People who do witchcraft and have gotten themselves to a higher level, where they're studying all the occult books on how to do mind control from a distance, how to influence people, how to energetically make somebody do what you want them to do. Like she was doing love domination spells on me, trying to make me fall in love with her, trying to make me think of her. There is no love, there is no thinking of her, and but except for the fact that she's constantly attacking me. And she's constantly ghosting me. Ghosting meaning you're constantly haunting me. So your energy is always around me because you're always honed in on what I'm doing. I've had them do voodoo dolls where I'll feel pricks and stuff all on my body. I've had them burn my skin to the point where I had a welt on it. So, unfortunately right now, this is a reality. But, again, early, I just cleared them out. I cleared them out, so I'm calmer than I was 2 hours ago, literally, because they were trying to induce a stroke or high blood pressure, because my body just started heating up, and I was like, my body never does that. My body never does that. I mean, I can walk. I've walked. When I go to work, I work three nights a week only now, and it sucks. It's costing me, but I work 3 nights, and during those nights, I patrol pretty much like a 3-mile space, or I'd say 1.5 miles, not a 3-mile space. So if I do 6 laps, plus I walk home, and right now I'm going to have to walk to and from work. You see? So it's really, I know when people say, oh gosh, I'm just tired of it, I'm just going to give in, because they put you in dangerous situations. They create danger for you. These 2 people know that they're creating danger for me. One woman, the reason why, one woman, she's not going to do it herself. These are both covert narcissists with they have the cocktail, but the covert narcissism is they don't want that. You're living one life, but you're involved in another. You're involved in somebody else's life who doesn't pay any attention to you. I don't know her social media. I don't know what she's doing. I don't care what she's doing. I don't care what either of them are doing. The only thing I care about is living in my purpose, getting my courses out, doing one-on-one coaching, and through this, because I'm living proof that you can get through it. I'm living proof that you can get through it. And, so, they don't, they want to see you fall. They don't have any remorse, no remorse to their actions, but they do everything in secret, again, because they don't want to get caught. And I've decided to be, and because they're making my job more dangerous, to where I can't afford to go to work. I can't take a lift to work because that's too much money for me to take a lift to work and, then walk back, because before I was splitting it. So I was like, I'll take a lift and then I'll walk. Now I got to walk to work, and now I got to walk back from work. So, these guys, they're intelligent in the way that both of these 2 women are on disability. Both of these 2 women don't work. They siphon money and energy out of other people. That's what they do. So they don't care. They have no empathy for the fact that, hey, I worked so hard to get up off the street and to build a new life for myself. And you guys keep throwing this toxicity at me, these toxic patterns that I've already surpassed, that I've already healed from, that aren't even a part of my chemical makeup anymore. This is not a trauma bond. This is terrorism, because there's no bond. And that upsets them even more, because I'm traumatized in the sense that, geez, Every time I build, I'm taking 100 steps back. So I was in my God talk today. I was like, man, mama, I was like, it feels, and I've been saying this to her because I'm so mad about it. You know, you build this foundation to start anew, coming from a place of wisdom now. You're coming from a place of understanding yourself and understanding the God that you serve. That work is working in your life, and you're in this partnership together. And not only are they blocking that energy from God, that you know that something's supposed to be coming. There's been times where I knew that I was supposed to get extra money and it never reached me. There was times where I knew that I was supposed to get communication. I got a phone. The ringer was working just fine. And but it suddenly stopped. I also had people trying that I could see. There was a lady that was outside, one of the Christie's family members, who was outside of my hotel room pretending to walk the dog. Everybody walks their dog out in the front because that's the grass area. So she was out there pretending, just right in front of my door. And something told me, open the door quickly. So I opened the door quickly and she ran. Now this is an obese lady who seems a little bit simple, you know, always smiling and looking at me all the time. And, you know, trying to get my phone number by using software on her phone to hack, to sync with the signal. Not the first time that it's been done. Every time I get a phone, they're doing it. You know, every time I get a phone, they're doing it. So I learned, I thought, well, maybe because I don't keep that phone on me. I keep that phone where it's supposed to be. So, after, you know, my sound stopped working. But people who are so obsessed and so evil act like poltergeists. Like they can affect. It's kind of like Patrick Swayze in Ghost, where he focused enough and he was able to touch things. I don't know which one it is. All I know, though, is that, you know, to be that focused on who I'm talking to. Because in her mind, she's already married me. In her mind, where we've been dating and now we're married. You know? I mean, that's the delusions that come from these guys. There's no marriage. There's no relationship whatsoever. There's never has been. There only was in her mind. Yeah, in her mind. Because she wanted something that she did not ask for. Because if she would have asked, it would have been declined. It's already been declined. Like there's been several times that I've told her in the astral realm, talking like I'm talking to you guys though, that I don't like you. And it would probably behoove you not to ever show up personally. Keep your flying monkeys coming, because I know that they got a limit. So yeah, it's because they are trying to break me down to the point. You're not breaking me down, but you're breaking what I've built down to where I have no resources. I have no access. Everybody I go to suddenly disappears. If I get a new phone, that phone will suddenly stop working. Or I'll start having people trying to get next to me or within a vicinity to where they can get my location and stuff. You see? So they're creating this situation to where they can set me up to have one of their flying monkeys come in and harass me or set me up for something. You know what I mean? Like I've really, and I think that's what they've has been so frustrating is with when you have stability. The cluster B personality doesn't want you to go on your own without them. They don't. They feel that they are entitled to everything because they targeted you. And God forbid that what they're grooming and their gaslighting and love bombing and all that stuff does not work on you. So beware, Phoenixes, that even when you do heal, does not mean, and you level up vibrationally, but you can recognize now, you know, you're no longer comfortable in toxicity. Your spirit can't take it. So beware, because they'll still come. You know, they're upset. These guys have been upset. These two especially have been upset because I guess within their cult, they look like stupid fools. Because it takes a lot of power, actually, and a lack of any kind of feeling. You can't be human to think that you're going to cause the death of somebody, making it look like an accident, making it look like natural causes, even though their lifestyle wasn't conducive to what you've induced in them. As I said, these guys never give up. And there was Oh, I don't, it wasn't Robert Redford. It was the other guy, but he was in this movie and he said the only thing that you can do with evil is kill it. That type of evil is kill it. You know, I don't recommend that. But there's some of us INFJs who are just like, yeah, no. I'm that one that will come for your mom. I will come for everybody. But I serve a God, and so I'm waiting on God. I am, I'm as a coach, as a NARC coach and a transformational coach, helping my clients start over. I'm going to be the realest that you'll ever meet, because I'm not dolling myself up and I'm not sugarcoating anything. I'm going to tell you what I see. I'm going to tell you from my experience. But the thing with them is, what they don't realize is that when you try and play God against God, and God can't bless his children, and you try and make God look stupid because you're blocking that beautiful energy that is being sent to that divine being on earth from the source. You're knocking off resources that were given. You're screwing with their health. Even, you know what I mean? Which means that you're screwing with their connection with the Most High and receiving downloads and receiving warnings. If you're screwing with all of that because you have a God complex, then God has you're pushing God's hand. You're pushing God to say, okay, I give everybody a chance because you guys all have free will, but you're misusing it above and beyond. If you want to be a poltergeist and attack electronics or whatever, I can bless my baby with a new one. You want to, try and cause car accidents though, and try and murder this divine chosen because you're pissed off because you made a pact with my mortal enemy, the devil, then I got to take you out. I got to give you back everything multiplied, evil that you sent to this person, to show you how mortal you are, to even kind of wake you out of your demonic slumber. I got to show you. And that's what I believe that is going to happen in my case, because I don't think I would listen. I had prayer and meditation this morning, listening to gospel music, saying my prayers, chanting my mantras, hanging out with my babes, just resting. Didn't have many attacks until I got on the public transportation to get to my interview. So you're attacking me so that I'm actively going through the process of, supporting myself. I'm taking action to get another job so that I can make rent, so that I still have a roof over my head. And you're trying to block it. That's what these guys do. But what I say to you, and like I just got through saying, really, I'm dealing with this, but I wanted to put this out because what I sensed from this person, like both of them are just pure evil. They don't have anything. The other one, she's working off of lust. The other one is just a murderous psychopath. I mean, she's a murderous sociopath, more like it. She has no feeling. Like, she is an empty husk of nothing. The other one, I've seen into her, and there's a demon over her little wounded child. But that's a demon that she made a pact with. So every once in a while, she'll throw her temper tantrums, which is what many of them do when they're not getting their way. I mean, and this was with the one lady. She was telling me that her husband told her not to buy something, and she went into his account and took his money out anyway. And to think that would impress me. Because you take money out of my account when I've told you not to. Boy, I will split heaven and earth. Because I don't get into relationships like that would make me feel like that. Because that's a pure violation. You just told that man you don't have any respect for him and that he is nothing but a bank for you and a roof over your head. Because one thing I've noticed about the people, the cluster bees that I'm dealing with, they don't have jobs. Or they may do a little bit of something here. Like they may do DoorDash or whatever. Or in the other lady's case, being a DJ, but they always want somebody to be paying for them. In this case, it's the Social Security Administration that's paying for them to have money, and they can only make a certain amount. But what gets you when you think about it, these people are living in poverty, mentally, spiritually, and financially. So they've clung on to somebody else who is making more money than them. But they're actively trying to sabotage somebody else and their job, their career, their life, their goals, because it doesn't they're not a participant in it. Like the being the narcissistic wound is real, where you're wounded because somebody has rejected you because they see in you what, most people don't. They see that you are a destroyer. When you see through all those layers to the core of these cluster B personalities, they can't handle it. So it's like an automatic, okay, we got to shut you down. We got to shut you up, So you really got to think about that. It's like, why, the reason, again, without my spiritual practice, I'm pretty much happy most days. Because I know, like I said, I had my God talk. And when you've done everything that you can, and now you're standing. Stand means just, do what you can, and we're taking care of the rest. So I give praise. I pray for the angels. I pray for my guides to be strengthened, to have their weapons of war sharpened, enhanced, and upgraded and multiplied. To have their spiritual minds and hearts cleansed and purified. I'm praying for them too, because I know that if I'm getting knocked almost down, that what they deflected from, actually the whole impact never got to me. The whole impact never got to me. Because if it would have gotten to me, I wouldn't be doing this right now. You wouldn't be hearing me speak. If it all had gotten to me, I wouldn't, you know what I mean? But you got people who are mad because their death spell didn't work. And really, I got to say, I am so disgusted by people who do witchcraft, because that lets me know I don't have to do witchcraft. I just work on enhancing my divine gifts, my superpowers. I don't have to go out and get some graveyard dirt and a bat claw and, some minstrel whatever. I don't have to do all that shit that these fuckers do. Excuse my language, but I don't. Never have. So what that tells me, when somebody says they're a witch, it tells me it no longer means wisdom in these days. There's no wisdom to what you're doing, because you're trying to play God. You're trying to, even in the workplace, if it's meant for you, then it'll be yours. But if you're trying to influence somebody's decision because you want the status of having a particular job or a particular salary, you don't even like the job, then you're coming from an immature place. These women and men who are calling themselves witches and warlocks and doing, all these rituals and love spell binding spells and death spells and confusion spells and all this other kind of crap, you're not really powerful. Anybody, they notice that they can't do it alone. I'm here doing this battle. I'm not doing it alone in the spiritual, but I'm doing it alone in the physical. So if I'm doing it alone in the physical, and you got 5-10 people who are engaged in this ritual, or you had to go and pay $1,000 for somebody to go do a damn death spell on somebody who's done nothing to you, like literally has done nothing to you, then you're weak. You're attacking people who you see as vulnerable. Because they're not sociopathic, because they have a conscience, because they're empathic. You see that as weak. You see love as weak. So you keep going after people. And to some extent, these guys, there's a lot of witches on TikTok and YouTube and everything else. But you notice how at first, they never want to show their face. At first, they never want to show their face. And you can always tell, because these people are the ones who are always, doing the worst dirt. But you don't want anybody to know that you do dirt. But you want the accolades for it. You want to kill somebody and get the satisfaction of killing somebody through a witchcraft spell or a death spell, but you don't want to have to go to jail for it. So you're only getting that cred from other toxic immature, delusional, demon-possessed, mentally ill people. The one had her family members come into the hotel. They didn't need to. They had an RV. They weren't homeless. These guys had never been there, you know, including her son. And she had her son flirting with me. Like I had never, and it wasn't just her son though. It was all these other kids. And every time, it was really creepy because every time I opened the door, they would come rushing in, like from across the hotel parking lot to me. And I mean, her family members were right next door. And they'd be banging and doing the noise thing. And, you know, I tell them, you know, one or two things. I can call the office or I can call the police. You choose. And then they'd be quiet. But every time they heard me come out, her son would come out and look at me with all this lust in his eyes. And I'm thinking, why would you send your son? And this woman has never taken care of her kids. She took care of them for a little bit, and then her drug addiction and mental illness caused them to have to live with other family members and their fathers. You know, which is win-win for her because, you know, with covert narcissists, narcissistic females, they only have kids to use them as pawns, to use them as bargaining tools, to keep that person with them. Because even though they're not with them, see, I've never been with this woman, so I'm not understanding her obsession with me. You know, but to keep their ex-partners with them, they usually will produce kids that they'll never take care of, that become sicker than them. And that's what I saw. I recognized him as her son because I'd seen, when they lived here, I'd seen them, you know, her talk. Because she would use her husband's money to rent 2 rooms, which I thought was absolutely bizarre. You know? Like, go get a storage. You know? I don't understand renting 2 hotel rooms just to stack your shit in, when other people are using storage units. But that was the really crazy thing, you know? And I was thinking to myself, why would somebody, like, I don't have that in me. Like, and you know that I'm a lesbian. So why would you send your son and your family's bullying me, you're trying to, you know, induce fear, and your son is looking at me with eyes of lust. I never understood it. I just couldn't understand it, you know? And she never showed up. She's one that I've never seen either. It's like I haven't seen her. I mean, she used to drive by, you know, and I'd see a glimpse of her. I'd feel her energy because she would try and claw at me. Energetically, she would try and claw at me like, you stay there, you know? It's like, no, that's not going to happen. Anyway, this is longer than I wanted it to be, but I really wanted to say that. So basically where I'm at right now, to sum it up in a nutshell, and the reason why I'm making this post with these people, outing these people, is because it's very scary. And I think a lot of us are dealing with witchcraft right now, and attacks, psychic attacks, astral attacks, being sabotaged, being targeted by gang stalkers. And it's one of those things where, for me, it's just time I was going to put it in my documentary, but I haven't had time to really work on it because I have these distractions. I have to protect my life. And the other reason is because I know that they get angry. These cluster B personalities will get angry when the tactics that they're normally use stop working, because you've leveled up, because you've grown, and because as a human you have the right to say no as a complete sentence. You have a right to set boundaries, whether somebody likes them or not. You got a right to reinforce those boundaries. And these guys aren't working with the full deck. They never have been. So the only thing they're thinking of is, I have no power over that person, and I want power. So in order for me to get power, now I have to go to murder. Now I have to hire people, or I have to tell my cult, or I have to go to my gang crew, and I got to tell them, hey, I want to take this person out. I mean, you can look at the case of Selena. Her manager had a mental issue, severe mental issue, where she was sitting there pretending to love this person so much. Even said it. Oh, I would never do that. I'm so sorry. I love her. I wasn't in my right mind. And I just told you about, when I lived with Olga, where she's like, oh yeah, I understand. I've been through it too. I've been, I've had to do a lot of things just to get here. But what she was saying when she said I had to do a lot of things to get here, means that she had to go through the grooming that she was trying to take me through, because they tried to assimilate me. They tried to get me to be a member. And because I rejected them, they took that, and this is what I was told. The lady said, my friend who I was on the streets with, God bless her soul, Suzanne, she said, when I told her about what I'd been going through before I became homeless, she said, she goes, no, it's the Norteños. She said it's the Norteños, because she goes, now they're just accepting anybody because so many of them are dying or in prison for life, So they're accepting everybody. It doesn't matter what race or whatever you are. They're just accepting everybody. So she said, by you not accepting, this is exactly what she told me too, and I didn't get it on video because, her girlfriend was there, and I didn't like her girlfriend. Her girlfriend made my stomach literally hurt every time I was around her. Like there was just something off about her, which ended up being right. Because she ended up letting Suzanne die. And she knew that she was going through an MS spasm or whatever, and she let her die so she could go and have sex with these men. Because she was with a man before she was with Suzanne. And Suzanne had been on the streets off and on. So had been on the streets off and on. Because her family had rejected her. So that's how I said it's like, and her girlfriend was a member of the Norteños because she was with one of the Norteños gang members. And she even said that when you reject them, they don't let you go because they see you as property. They're the ones that started that branding of the neck. So, yeah. So these guys don't give up. But you know what? I'm not giving up, and God's not giving up. And I have a feeling that I'll be able to share some awesome updates with you guys really soon. But because of that, and because of their affiliation, that if I can't have you, because of that and because of the gang affiliation, and just knowing through talking and through with people, especially while I was on the streets, who, were telling us like, no, it's just, this is who is running this city. And what they say goes, and that when you leave them, you're still with them. You're still with them. They don't care. So if in this person, I never was with this person. So, which makes it so aggravating, because to me it's common sense. But again, I know the pathology. So, it makes sense, but it doesn't. And the previous attempts on my life, it makes it really scary. So for me, because I'm starting to pack up my stuff and put it in storage, what I don't need, immediately, and just pack it up and, put everything in storage, having to fast longer. Because right now the most important thing is just getting to my job and, going from there, but again, because they've made several, from attempted vehicle homicide to, witchcraft and inducing a state that would kill me, look like natural causes, and it would kill me, to now probably having somebody show up because I'm being stalked. You know, it's not, it's, I'm like, I hate to say this, but it's like I'm used to it because I have control over it. Like, they're not going to go by me. Basically, what they do is just, I want you to see me. Somebody sent me here, so I want you to see me. It's like, I don't care, you know. I had a guy up at the train station, and I actually videotaped him, so he's in the video on here. Videotaped him, and I told him, I cut out what I said because I cussed him out. I was like, dude, go back. And really, the thing was, I saw him when I first got on the train, when I was going to the interview. And it was weird because, you know, it was weird because he just, again, popped up out of the blue. And it's like, I actually saw what direction he was coming from. But I'm thinking to myself, so that was when I was going to the interview. When I was coming back from the interview is when I actually, because I was so focused on getting to the interview on time. But I saw him. And what my guides will do, because I've asked them for years now, since I've been dealing with this gang stalking, do not allow anybody to come within 1,000 feet without me seeing them. And they do. They allow me to see them. Because what these guys will do is try and place a demonic covering over themselves. I've literally seen them I'm standing in the same place. Imagine this. You're standing in the same place, and you see something, and all of a sudden it disappears and then reappears somewhere else. But you know what you saw. That's a demonic covering where they're trying to camouflage themselves. They're trying to cloak themselves. You know? This is some Harry Potter shit, you guys. This is some real Harry Potter shit. Where they're trying to cloak themselves so they're not detected. The guy that I ended up feeling after I got back from the interview and I was at the train station, took the bus, was at the train station. When I got back from my interview, he pops up again and I see again the direction that he's coming from. So I'm like, this guy, because as soon as he saw me get off the bus is when he probably, you know, popped up. And the first time when I was going to the interview, I saw him. Literally, he was at a distance because he didn't want to seem conspicuous. So he was at a distance, but I still saw him because, like I said, my guides always stay down. And that's what you guys have to realize. Your guides always stay down. As soon as you give in to the depression and the despair, because it doesn't mean that it's around me. I just turn it into life. I turn it into blessings. I start giving praise for everything that I have right now. Thank you that I still have a roof over my head. Thank you that I still have a paycheck coming. Thank you that I still have my fur babies. Thank you that I still have my health. Thank you for protecting us from things seen and unseen. Right? You go into this because that helps strengthen them in the spiritual realm, speeds things up. Listening to my gospel music, listening, you know, chanting my Vedic mantras. All that helps. That's what I'm saying. You got to shut everything else out and focus. It doesn't mean that stuff's not going to happen around you, but you got to focus. You know, what will be, will be. In my case, what will be, will be. But I want people to know who did it. You know, who did it. So, yeah, so he was there so before the interview, and I was on the bus, and because I saw him looking at me. Like I said, you will feel a energetic pull on you because they're evil. So you will feel that evil, and when you can look in the direction, that's them. You know, so I looked in his direction, and he was pretending he went from one side. He went from the side that I was on. Then he went over to the other side to try and see if it was me or not, to get a good look. And I had to tune him out, like I said, because I was focused on getting on the interview on time. And he never got on my bus. When I got on the bus, he came from the other side, which is where he would have had to get on the rail, the light rail. Came on the other side to where the buses were parked. And kept looking into the bus to see where I was going, to see if I was in there. You know, but I mean, you saw me get on the bus, dude. You know, so then after the interview, and I got back to that train depot, here he comes sprinting again. Not only that, but I get to watch exactly what he's doing. So in the video, because I'm not afraid to film him. He knew I was filming him. You guys see that if you watch the video, you see that he's trying not to get his face in the video. Doesn't matter if you get your face, you know. I got your body. I got your body. So he was in the video, didn't want to have his face seen. So he kept kind of turning, and then he would like, okay, I'm just going to act all calm so she doesn't know. But I could tell that he was nervous. I could feel, and it's not even telling that he was nervous. It was just the energy that was coming off of him. Complete energy that was coming off of him. You know, that evil intention coming off of him. That I'm trying not to be suspicious, but I know that you see me. Right? So he's walking around. So basically, when I start filming is when I'm getting away from him, because he had just been on one side trying to get close to me, and then he was on the other side, and I walked clear away from him so that it would be obvious. So if I had to yell and say, hey, get the hell away from me, right? I have my mask. This guy didn't have a mask on. He's posts up there for a little bit. He walks around. This is what he had done when I was going to the interview, when I saw him. And the only reason why I focused on him was because he focused on me. See, when you are clear in who you are and what your body does and how spirituality works, how energy works, you can tell, you don't question because other people are questioning you. You don't question. There's no question. Because, and it proved it. See, God will always give you confirmation. So basically it was confirmed. So when he was at that corner, he walked around, walked on the other side where the buses were. And then I saw him go, he hung around there for a minute. And then I saw him go, like, almost, in a way, almost kind of disappear through the bus. But I knew he had gone around it. Because he was trying he was trying to leave while I was distracted, but I was still focused on him. So I stopped filming because all I wanted was his face, was just him. So he saw, so he ducked and dodged. That's what he did again, because I was like, okay, how are you here? I've been gone for an hour. I didn't see him get on a bus or anything, or a train. But why are you back at the train station? I know why I'm back at the train station. And then this time around, I don't see you get on a train or a bus. The other train had going the opposite way, had left and gone. I was waiting for the train to go in my direction, so I was standing on that side. Like everybody else, we stand on the side that we need direction that we need to go. And this guy was literally all over the place. Literally all over the place. He could not sit still, So it was absolutely crazy. And then to see him not get on the plane, not get on the train, not get on the bus, but go in the opposite direction, and was focused on me the whole time, kept looking at me, like I wasn't scared. I actually told him he was going to get his ass beat if he kept coming around me, is what I told him. And I cut that part off. Again, Hispanic male. Now, I don't talk to anybody. I haven't talked to either of these people in a long time. I don't really talk to anybody. The only person I had talked to was the managers of the hotel and the interviewer, So I'm going to finish this up, you guys. But yeah, so these are the people who are doing witchcraft and death spells on me right now, blocking my finances, blocking me from moving, because they want me either dead if I'm not going to be in a relationship of any kind with them, or if, they don't want me to succeed and go to the next level. So this is why I'm doing this video. And it's like a lot longer. It was only supposed to be 6 minutes, broke up in 2, and it's already an hour and a half. So, I guess I had a lot to say, and I just wanted to let my Phoenixes Rising know that if you stop seeing videos, go back to this one, because that's what happened. If you stop seeing videos for a month, that's what happened. Anyway. But again, like I said, the way I get my energy up and the way I help, my spirit team is by praising, gratitude. And really, I've been laughing to myself too. Like just allowing, flashbacks of good times or incidences that were funny, that were beautiful and spiritual. Also allowing myself to cry and to purge, allowing myself and just to be in a happy moment. I will not sink into depression because somebody is attacking me, because I've already conquered what I was supposed to conquer. And really, right now, at this point in time in my life, I have literally come full circle, like really come full circle. And I think this experience has really taught me that you can go through a storm and still come out whole. You know, your haters, cluster B personalities be damned. You can go through the storm and still come out whole. When we think of games, right, the hero's journey. And I'll end with this. When we think of games, the hero's journey, think about it like this. I'm an anime fan, and I've watched a lot of seasons. And when you watch these seasons, even television shows, right, there's always a beginning, middle, and an end in an episode, which accumulates to that whole entire season. So the episode, beginning, middle, and end. So every situation that you go through individually from the season has a beginning, middle, and an end, right? So when you complete that season, the base end game has been either accomplished or you still need to go on some more, right? Or it usually has been accomplished. Like they hit their goal. Now the season is over. You know, you may have a season 2. So, but at the end, towards the end of the third act, you have this huge boss figure. And this boss figure is the one that has been trained, that has been fine-tuned. They got the knowledge, they got the wisdom, they got the spiritual power, they got the intensity. They have been conditioned to be the one to take you out because they got the bodies to prove it. And every time it looks like the hero is down. Like I was watching Seven Deadly Sins, that anime. And, you know, like it felt like everybody was down, right? You get this demon hybrid who wants to, you know, resurrect the demon race. And this guy, badass, right? And everybody else kind of looks goofy. They're the short bus crew. But we're badasses in their time, right? Everybody is down. Like people are dead and gone. And, you know, the pig Hawk was toasty. He was burnt to a crisp. He's roasted. And, you know, but what gets revealed are other people's powers, including your own, right? So and this is it. Thank you, God. Thank you. So, and this is what he was showing me, I guess, is that there is sometimes there is a character that enters, or a character that has been going through with the journey with you, right? That you may know or not know. You may know or not know them, but this character has been going through the journey with you. And suddenly you think that they're just, you know, oh, I got to protect this person. But that person ends up protecting you. In this episode of The Deadly Sins, I'm not going to give it completely away, but because I don't know what the episode is called. But if you've watched it already, you already know. In this episode of The 7 Deadly Sins, the princess reveals how badass she actually is. And she emits this huge ball of healing energy. The grass grows in dead dirt. People start to revive. Their stamina goes back up. And basically, the other guys, the warriors, are in it again. And this time, they kick ass. So the journey, you know, we may think that, oh gosh, you know, here's this cluster B demon again that's just getting ready to take me out, you know, and that's what they want you to feel. They want you to feel defeat. Even in the face of death, you can still have joy. Even in the face of death, you can still have joy. All right, Phoenixes, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise.